Hello, and welcome to the Residential Site Digitization tutorial in ArcGIS Pro. My name is Jake Francis, a junior urban planning and GIS student at Miami University. This tutorial will cover every step to creating your own digitized site plan of a residential neighborhood, including accessing and importing vector and raster data into an ArcGIS project, creating featured data sets and classes for vector features, drawing and analyzing map features, and creating meaningful map layouts for publishing. Before we can begin mapping these features, we must first obtain the data layers and maps we will be using. To access these data layers, the ArcGIS online platform will be used to download files. First, search ArcGIS Online and sign in. Once signed in, click the search bar at the top of the ribbon screen here, where you can enter any keywords or information to search for datasets. For this tutorial, I will be using a data tag labeled ArcGIS to search for data layers. Once entered, I will scroll down and select the Oxford base map layer to get an overview of this dataset. I will select the Open in ArcGIS button on the right to download the data. Then exit this data and repeat these steps for a parcels layer using the exact same steps. Once you have these .pyMX files downloaded, place them in your file explorer under meaningful and organized folder names. We are now ready to get started using our data into a new ArcGIS project. First, we will need to export the parcel data layer into a native shapefile, which you do so by opening these new pyMX files in separate projects. First, double-click on the base map file icon to open the ArcGIS Pro project. Once the project is open with these layers, save the project to a known file with a meaningful name. Next, you are going to go back to your file explorer and open the parcels.pyemx file. Once this is open, you will copy and export these features into a new shapefile destination. You do so by clicking on the layer and then going to Analysis, clicking the toolbox. You will search for Copy Features tool and select this. Once in the tool, you will select the imported layer as the input and select a location for this feature to go. You will choose the same file location as the saved project and save it to the database within. Once done, click Export at the bottom of the screen and you will have exported a new shapefile of this pyMX file. Repeat this process for parcels layer. We will now go back to our master ARC project and navigate to the map section. Here, we will add data and bring up our file explorer. We will go to the folder with the newly created parcel shapefiles and click to import these data layers. Now that this data is added to the project, we are going to clean up the data symbols and zoom to the residential area which we are going to digitize. First, drag the parcels layer on top of all layers and right-click to bring up symbology. In the symbology tab, click on the colored box and go to Properties. Here, you will change the fill color to transparent. You may also choose a brighter stroke color to see the parcel lines better. Next, use the zoom feature to zoom in on a chosen area to digitize and center this on your screen. Next, we will need to create feature datasets for our digitized features, which we will create in the ArcGIS database. Navigate to the Catalog panel and drop down under Databases. Right-click on the project database and select New Feature Dataset. Select the project database for the output parameter and title this dataset Human Features in the current map coordinate system. Now that we have this dataset created, we will need to make different feature classes for all human features in the residence. These structures include roads, paths, buildings, sheds, fountains, and more. To create these classes, you will navigate to the database in the Catalog panel again, this time right-clicking on the new feature dataset we created. In the new panel, you can create different digital representations of map features. These can include different vector features like points, lines, and polygons, but also annotations and 3D objects. For the first feature, name it Building and select a feature class as Polygon. Click Finish at the bottom of the screen to create the new class. With these new classes created, you can start drawing on the base map aerial to create digitized features. Select the Edit window in the top of the ribbon and click Create. Now you will select the Building feature class and use the Drawing tool in the ribbon to draw these features. A left click will place a new anchor point, and a double left click will end this path. To start drawing, zoom in on one of the residences and click on a corner. Keep moving to each corner of the building until it is fully covered, double-clicking on these left points. You can enable path and point snapping at the top of the ribbon for accurate drawings. Repeat this process until each of the houses are polygon digitized. Now that we have each of the buildings digitized, click the Save Features at the top of the ribbon. We will now create a new feature class for a new map feature, this time being roads. Repeat the steps to create a new class named roads with a line feature class type. Digitize these features. Keep repeating these feature class creations and digitizations until every feature is digitized. Make sure to capture all paths, buildings, and points using polygons, points, and line features. Save edits between each class to ensure your project is up to date. Once you have digitized all the human features, we will now create an environmental and natural feature database. Navigate back to the catalog panel and create a new feature database for these natural features. Continue to digitize these natural features by creating new classes for the lakes and forests. Ensure that you are using the snap tools to meet edges between layers to avoid slivers and saving features between edits. Now that we have all the digitized features created, we will symbolize them in a meaningful and organized way. Navigate to the Symbology tab by right-clicking on the feature's class name. In this symbology, select the colored rectangle and then Properties to change the outline and fill color of all digitizations. Assign each polygon and point meaningful and different colors that are a part of a cohesive color scheme meant to represent the actual makeup of the land. Now that we have every feature digitized and symbolized, we can create meaningful map layouts to this residential site plan. To create a layout, navigate to the Insert window in the top ribbon and select New Layout. The ArcGIS layout window allows you to add map frames and other elements like scale bars and legends for your graphics. There are multiple layouts for our residential site plan that can be created using this general viewing or even analysis. For this video, I will be creating a mapping of the parcel layers with the buildings, road features, and other features digitized to create a bare bones plan for the suburb. First, I want to add the map we just created by clicking Map Frame and selecting the residential map. Then, drag a rectangle of preferred size in the layout window. Adjust the map scaling and map framing by clicking the frame and the Q key, then using the scroll wheel. For this residential plot plan, there are only a few feature layers that need to be displayed to create this mapping. Navigate to the Contents panel on the right and uncheck the aerial imagery. Notice how this updates the map frame. Meaningful layouts also contain other features than the map, though. They also include scale bars, north arrows, legends, and titles. To add these features, use the Insert window in the ribbon to select each of the features. Add them to the map layout by clicking and dragging them to side. Resize, recolor, and reposition map elements until they are cohesive and organized, possibly resembling this example. Make sure that all symbols represent the information provided by the map for accurate representation. To export this layout to a separate image file, navigate to the Share window at the top of the ribbon. Select the Export Layout option towards the right to open the Export Layout menu. In the Export window, select PNG as the type and choose a file name and location. This window allows you to change DPI and color depth settings, but the default values work well. Once you have these steps completed, click Export at the bottom of the window to save this layout to your file explorer. Together, we have created an informational mapping layout of a residential development by digitizing real-world features. In this video, we sourced and imported vector and raster data into ArcGIS projects, created featured data sets and classes for real-world features, drew and analyzed map features, and created meaningful map layouts for publishing and analysis. In all, ArcGIS is a powerful geospatial software that allows for real-world imagery analysis and feature creation. This program provides many tools for creating varying mapping layouts that can be applied in many real-world scenarios and assist in meaningful decision-making processes.